Ever feel like saving the planet is expensive? Well, it certainly can be, as we chatted about in our video on why sustainable products cost more upfront a lot of times. But today, I'm here to prove that it does not have to be. In fact, going green can save you some serious green, and I'm going to demonstrate by sharing with you 11 easy swaps that not only reduce waste, but could save you over $2,000 next year. No gimmicks, no fancy gadgets, just practical ideas that work. Hey friends, it's me, Amber, and this is Sustainable Jungle, where we share sustainability tips, tricks, hacks, products, brands, and stories to better our planet and maybe even your budget. So today we're talking about flipping the script and talking about how sustainable living isn't just good for the earth, it's good for your wallet too. So it's a pretty self-explanatory topic today, but before we really get into the budget breakdown, please just take a second to hit the subscribe, like, and notification buttons down below this video so you don't miss out on any of our content. Let's start with something simple, and that's replacing paper towels with reusable cleaning cloths. Did you know that the average household spends $150 to $200 a year on paper towels, but you can snag a pack of washable cloths for about $20. Or even better yet, you don't even have to spend a dime. You can just cut up old t-shirts that are maybe too ratty to even get a second home in a thrift store, and then you have free reusable cleaning cloths. Bonus, these tend to be stronger and better for cleaning up messes than paper towels anyway. Your annual savings, even if you do buy them, about $130+. This next one is going to seem like a no-brainer to most of you out there, but reusable water bottles. Buying bottled water adds up fast. At like $1 to $3 a bottle, regular drinkers can easily spend $300+ a year just on water. Now, a good reusable water bottle like this one is gonna cost you $20, $30, maybe a little more if you're getting something really big, but it can last for many, many years. In fact, if it's well cared for, a stainless steel one like this should last you your entire life. Plus, many cities have free water refill stations, so you'll also save money on that front while staying hydrated. Annual savings, $250+. Number 3 is to install a low budget bidet. Oh, she's talking about butts again. My bad, but regulars here will probably know by now that I love my bidet, as in like it's one of the favorite things that I own, which maybe that's sad, but I don't really care. Now, I know that they can sound intimidating and they can be really fancy price-wise, but you don't actually need a heated, electric, high-tech version like the one that I have now to make this swap. A basic bidet attachment will cost you about $40. In fact, this one right here is the exact one that I started with years ago before I upgraded. So this one is gonna run on water pressure alone. There is not any heated water to it, so it is just cold or whatever temperature your pipes naturally are, which really is not as bad as it sounds. And by doing this, you can save up to $200 a year on toilet paper. I mean, seriously, think about how much toilet paper you go through. This little device can cut that down by 75% or even more if you also swap to reusable cloths to dry when you're done. I personally don't do that. I still use toilet paper to dry, but we use way less toilet paper now that we have a bidet. So, annual savings with this one, about $200. The fourth habit that you can pick up to stop spending so much money is to stop using single-use coffee pods. Keurig and espresso fans, I see you, but those pods can cost 50 cents to $1 each if you break it down, which adds up to over $200 a year, sometimes even more than that if you're a daily coffee drinker or if you drink multiple cups a day even. Because honestly, most of us do that. So if you swap to a reusable coffee pod or a classic French press like I do here, which doesn't even require regular paper filters like a regular coffee pot, you can save big while cutting down on waste. So with this thing, I save $150+ a year. Number 5 is switch to reusable safety razors. I'm sure you know this if you use a disposable razor, but they can cost a lot of money, like $5 to $10 per pack, which adds up to $100+ annually. And sometimes this can be even more if you're buying those fancy non-disposable razors that still need the disposable heads that cost like $13 a pop. Safety razors, on the other hand, are a really small upfront investment of $20 to $40, but they only require inexpensive blade replacements that are generally less than like $10 a year, depending on how often you change them. I don't have to change mine as often. If you're using it to shave facial hair and you need that really smooth shave, you might end up changing them more, but even then, you're looking at barely spending $10 a year on one of these. Plus, they just in general provide a better shave and there's no more plastic. So, potential annual savings with this one, $80+. My sixth flop recommendation is to replace disposable batteries with rechargeable ones. This is especially true for households that have a lot of electronic uses. I mean, a lot of our devices nowadays have built-in batteries, but a lot of things like a heater or an air conditioner come with remotes, and those all need batteries. Or if you have kids, a lot of kids' toys need batteries, and these become a really sneaky expense. Like a 4-pack of disposable AA batteries can cost $5 to $8 depending on the quality, while rechargeable batteries with a charger will cost you $20 to $30 for typically a pack that's bigger than 4, like 8 to 12. I mean, that's going to pay for itself in just a few uses. So annual savings on this one's really going to depend on your battery use, but on average anywhere from like $40 to $60 if you're kind of just a moderate battery user. The next habit that you can adopt to save yourself some money is to save drying energy by using reusable dryer balls and a laundry line. So those disposable dryer sheets have a really sneaky way of taking your money every laundry day. Plus they're really awful for the environment and actually have been shown to emit VOCs into the atmosphere through the dryer vents, so we want to avoid those altogether. Instead, if you switch to a wool dryer ball, or they make hemp ones if you're vegan as well, these are a better option because they last for years, they soften your clothes naturally, which means you also don't need fabric softener, which you don't anyway. And the best part about these though is that they can actually even speed up the drying time, which saves you a little bit of money on energy bills too. And then of course, you can save even more money on your energy bill by drying in a line or just in the air, drying flat, whatever, as much as possible. So this is what I do half the year. I mean, I live somewhere where we get winters, so realistically, I can't line dry all of my stuff outside all year round. I do line dry select things in the house in the wintertime, but I live in a tiny house, so I don't really have the space to line dry everything through the winter, but even only using my dryer half the year saves me a lot. Because here's the thing, dryers are actually one of the biggest energy hogs in our homes, especially in the US. It costs about 45 cents to dry a load of laundry with an electric dryer, and that's of course based on if you have a 5,600 watt dryer and you run an average 40-minute runtime. Now consider that the average American family washes 300 to 390 laundry loads per year. Well, if you were to air dry every single one of those instead of using a dryer, that's some money savings. Even if you only dry half of those, still money savings. Now, if you don't really have a space outside to hang up a line dryer, a simple drying rack costs you maybe about $20 and it should last you a lifetime. Or if you do have a place to dry outside, just get a piece of simple paracord, string it up between 2 trees in your yard or maybe the posts on your porch, and then you're basically paying nothing. Both of these things are going to pay for themselves in no time by letting you air dry your clothes. Plus, that's not even to speak of how much money you'll save by keeping the wear and tear off your clothes in the first place. And that's because the dryer is the hardest thing on your clothes, like more than actually wearing them for the most part. So air drying will significantly extend their lifespan as well. Annual savings on this one, $30 on dryer sheets and $135 to $175 on energy. This next one will come as no surprise to regular watchers of our channels, but that is going to be to buy secondhand clothes. So speaking of clothes, did you know that the average American woman spends $2,000 a year on clothing? That's wild. Instead, hit up your local thrift store or maybe some online resale platforms or just even a local garage sale in your town. You can score amazing deals and save hundreds every year while keeping perfectly good clothes out of the landfill. And even if you're buying from higher end consignment type shops that typically charge like 50% of MSRP, just depending on the age and condition, you're still saving like $1,000 a year. Imagine what you can do with that. So annual savings, again, this is really going to vary depending on your consumption patterns, but if we are going by the average, you stand to save over $1,000 a year. Number 9 is that I suggest you start making your own DIY cleaning solution. So all those fancy eco-friendly cleaning products, you don't really need them, and you certainly don't need the conventional chemical cleaners that make you think that you need a separate cleaner for every single surface. Hint, you don't. I use vinegar and baking soda for just about everything. And a big jug of white vinegar that lasts me over a year costs me like $10, and baking soda costs even less than that. And of course, you can always scent these with your own essential oils, which do cost a little bit, but again, you're only putting like a drop or two in a whole bottle, so those are gonna last you for years and years of making cleaning products. Better yet, you can even use food waste to scent your products. For instance, I like to steep orange peels in white vinegar for a few weeks, then I remove the orange peels, and then I have a naturally orange scented vinegar cleaner. So that's basically a free 2-in-1 cleaner and food waste solution. So annual savings on this one, about $100. Number 10, we have reusable period products. Did you know that the average cost per month for pads and tampons is about $13.25, which amounts to about $150 a year? And let's not forget the tampon tax, where a lot of states don't consider these necessity items. But we also have to pay sales tax on them in states that don't make them exempt from that. So this can be over 10% in some places, especially in cities, which is a lot. An extra 10% on that, that's another $15 on top of the $150. Now, a menstrual cup or reusable period underwear costs you like $30 to $40, but it is going to last for years and years and years, which is going to cut down on costs and wastes. Now, the annual savings on this one might not be quite as big as some of the other ones, depending on how many underwear and things you have to buy. You might even break even your first year, but again, you are definitely going to make that back in subsequent years. But let's just say that you just go with a cup that costs $20, you're still saving about $130 a year. And last, but certainly not least, another one that is going to be no surprise to regular viewers, let's talk composting. Yes, I know, I love composting. And it's not just good for the planet, it's actually really great for your wallet too. First of all, you're going to save money on trash bags because you're not filling them up as quickly with food scraps. But the real savings come if you're a gardener. So a bag of quality compost can cost anywhere from like $10 to $20. And if you're maintaining a garden, you're likely going to need multiple bags a year just to kind of refresh your soil and keep it nutrient rich and keep the levels up there, because when you harvest stuff, you just inherently lose soil every year. That happens. So instead, if you are composting at home, you're turning food scraps into free, nutrient-rich composts for your plants. And yes, the first year might mean taking those savings and investing them in an actual compost system, like my compost tumbler, which cost me about $100. But after that, it's just savings. And you don't even have to buy a fancy tumbler like that. If you have the land for it, you can just literally have a compost heap in your backyard. Or you can take upcycled pallets. A lot of hardware stores and things just have those out back and we'll let you take them. You can ask somebody and you can build really easy composting systems out of those. I'll link to some ideas for those down in the description below, just in case you wanted to look at those. So annual savings on this one, we'll say about $50. Now for the fun part. If we add all of those totals up, we're looking at about $2,000 or more in saving every single year. And yes, I know that a lot of those numbers are just based on averages in research, and we're all a little bit different, so some of us might not save that much, some of us might even save more depending on your consumption patterns. But again, just think of what you can do with even half of that much. An extra $1,000 in your pocket is huge. So I'm planning an international vacation to the other side of the world this year, and the $2,000 is like double what my plane ticket would look like. So that's basically a free-ish vacation that also just means way less waste, which is just the cherry on top of everything. So saving money, reducing waste, I mean, honestly, why wouldn't you at least try to implement some of these things? Because anything helps in today's economy. Now, what about you? What reusable swaps have you done or habits that you've picked up that have helped save you money? Please let me know in the comments below and let's share the savings all around. And if you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and keep saving the planet with me one swap at a time. Thanks for watching. Once more, I'm Amber from SJ, and I'll see you in the next video.